You know, it's estimated that over 50% of the marriages in California end up in divorce. And tonight on MedPsych, Dr. William Rader begins a special three-part report on the growing trend. Dr. Rader.
Thank you, Jerry. 1 out of every 4 marriages in the United States ends up in divorce. In California, divorce is becoming epidemic. We visited Westwood Elementary School and found that approximately 70% of the students come from a divorced home. We talked with some of these children, and I asked what divorce meant to them.
The parents don't love each other anymore, and they don't live together anymore. And you usually live with your mother, but most of the time, sometimes you really get angry at your parent that you're not living with. Well, I was kind of angry at him because I thought he didn't like me anymore. But that was when I was young, and now I love to be with him.
Did you tell him you were angry with him then?
No.
What did you do?
I held it inside. When I was sleeping one time, I was thinking about him, and then I just started crying. And sometimes I want to do like boy things that my mom can't do them, so I wish for my dad, and then I start crying. My father loves my mother a little bit, but my mother doesn't love my father anymore.
How does that make you feel?
He wants me to live with him, and he went to court about it, and I had to come, and it was hard to go through, and it's still going on. If my dad goes, "Who do you want to live with?" and I said, "My mother," you know, it might be hard. It's, you know, if I said that, I don't want anybody to get hurt because I've been going through a lot of things with it. And I was real sad when they got a divorce.
Why were you sad?
Because I liked them together, and they were a nice match, and I never believed that they would really get divorced. They couldn't agree on anything, and the only thing they could agree on is to get a divorce, and that made me mad. I see my mom and my dad a lot, but I see my mom and my dad with my sister, and I don't like that at all. I never have any time alone with either my mom or my dad. I can express my feelings better when I'm alone with them. I think that sometimes they shouldn't think that they shouldn't get divorced because of the child and what the child thinks. They should get divorced because of what they think, and if they're not getting along, they should get a divorce. I used to think I had to act one way for my mother and one way for my father. But now I just feel the way I want to feel. But before, God, it was terrible. I was like right in the middle, and it felt like they were both pulling on both arms. But
how did that change?
I started going to a therapist.
Okay, right here is another kid who's going through what you did, being felt in the middle. What would you like to tell her or him?
Tell their parents, because I didn't. I didn't tell my parents, and I kept it inside, and I don't think they should do that because it really hurted me at the end. It all showed up at the end.
Usually, children are aware of what's going on when their parents consider separation or divorce. And even though it's not true, many times the child feels responsible for the conflict between the parents. It's important to express these feelings or the child may end up with problems later on. If you're considering or are involved in a divorce, there's an organization called Info. They provide information on counseling and other supportive services. You can call them at 213-736-1333. That's 736-1333. Chris?
Oh boy. The integrity of those little children is almost devastating. Their incisiveness, their candor, and the honesty of their feelings, what an impact.
Out of the mouths of children, right?
If you give any child a chance, they'll come through like that. All kids are like that.
Good advice they can give to each other. You know there are kids listening. I hope they took it to heart. Still coming up, Ted Dawson has a live interview with a new one.